Alright, ladies and gentlemen, Fab's in the house, and today I've got the Kershaw Concierge here with me for a quick maintenance video, but hey, don't forget to like the video and to subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying this kind of content. So let's get started. So this guy came with a couple of issues. It's brand new, but like the detent is just like this. It's like this weak. I mean, you can't really do this, which is not good. All right, you can of course like switch it open, it's gonna lock up, no problem, but also there's this issue. Yeah, so you fly it open and there's lock stick. So I don't know, I'm just gonna try to see if we can do something. So I'm gonna try to bend this lock bar right over here. So if you're like a faint of heart, yeah, don't watch this guy because I'm gonna bend this liner over here. So let's get started with a T6, and we're gonna start by the pocket clip. All right, so that's one and that is two. And pocket clip is gone. All right, and like that. Next, let's do this liner here. All right, so that's the back. It's gonna go there. This guy gonna assume it's gonna rotate, and then we can do this one. All right, so that's the front side. So let's do another row. Very, very handy, these holes, so you can remember where you put the screw. I mean, you can match the position, and then I guess this is gonna be a T8. Yeah, and very good. Interesting. You've got a pivot with a washer, and then you've got your G10 scale right there. And then you've got, let me see, this guy we can just push out probably, because we need to remove the outer scale, I think. Let's just open this guy. Yeah, I think this should definitely come out. There you go. And that's the other part of the pivot. That's your blade. That's some gunk, a couple of bearings, another G10 scale, and then there's this guy. All right, so now we wanna fix the lock bar tension because there's not enough tension 100%. I'm sure the problem is here. So you check the lock bar, how far is from the liner on the show side, and just remember that. All right, then we're gonna need what is a T? Oh, another T6, not T7. Yeah, that's another T6 right over here. So also the liner was pretty loose and it's actually spinning. So just, yeah, you can push it from the back like so, not a biggie. And then this guy should come apart. All right, so you've got a also G10 backspacer indexed, which is cool. Just put it here. And then you've got, of course, your two also screws they go in from the back. And then we're gonna just start cleaning up first of all the gunk that with which this guy came in. This is a stop pin, so don't forget that. And then just let's clean this guy up like so. So there were two issues. One was the lock stick, and the other one was the really, really, really light detent, which I'm assuming it's due to a very, very light, lightly bent lock bar. So let's just clean it nicely. This is a well-designed knife, by the way, Sienkiewicz design. It resembles the Cannabis from Shirogorov, which you can check my review about that. It's a pretty cool knife. Beside the pocket clip, which is kind of like a pain. But I just clean also the scales. I got this one because I like the design, and because of course I'm a Shiro fan, and yeah, I thought let's check out this cheap version. That's pretty cheap compared to the cannabis, of course. And we are pretty much done. Let's just also clean the blade, like so. So everything is clean now, except for the bearings. I'm gonna take a little bit of extra alcohol and just clean these guys. So these are stainless steel caged bearings. Pivot is clean. Everything looks, let's do also the pivot, like so. There you go. That's done. And also this side over here. So every single part has been cleaned. Very, very good. Now, we gotta proceed to bend this guy over here. So I'm just gonna do lightly, okay? Just remember, you can do something like that. So just keep the backspacer because this is like your reference. And then this guy is gonna go in something like that. And you can see that there's that much space between the lock bar and this scale. And then we're gonna just slightly bend this, just very, very gently, and try to reassemble this one. And see that, you see, got a little bit more room, I think. So I'm just gonna do something like that. By the way, don't do this if you are afraid of messing this up. You see, it just bent like a little bit. It's barely touching. See? I think that's perfect. And also, like if you do it on an expensive knife, which might be still under warranty, yeah, just send it back, you know. But this is a pretty cheap one, so I think I can try to pull it off. Let's see if we added a little bit more detent strength for this one. And then we can start to proceed to reassemble this bad boy. So we're gonna need the stop pin, like right over here. Then we're gonna need to put the liner in position, indexed in like so. That's perfect. Very good. Then we need these two guys to go right here in the back. So that is one. Like, oh, this guy needs to be aligned, of course. So just align the back spacer and that's in. And then the second one goes in like so. And then just hold it from the back. Take your screw and the screw goes in like this. And second handle screw, it's in almost. Yeah, so now in this case this guy is spinning, so no problem, just get another T6 bit, for example, something like this, and you can just keep the knife like in the vertical position and just use one T6 on one side, like so, another one on this side, and just tighten it up. Don't over tighten it, just like to a point where there's a little bit of friction. Just be gentle, it doesn't need to be extremely tight. And so this is solid, there's no play. By the way, if you're curious, this is like a Shirogorov pen, which accept also regular Ouija bits. You don't have to use only the Shirogorov bits. So that is that. What else can we do? Here I think we can actually just slide in the blade. So let's just use the these bearings and oil them up just a tiny bit. Just let's do maybe like 1, 2, and 3 drops of nano oil on this side. Take the other bearing like so, just put it in, and also do the same thing, like 1, 2, and 3, and that is in. So this guy can just be in like so. Very good. Next up, we're gonna do the scales, because we can actually do this maneuver here with the scales in, because we're gonna need the pivot, and the pivot goes on top of the scale. So just same thing like on this one, just don't over tighten. These are tiny screws and you can risk to make some damage, so just make sure they're nicely there, but you know, not that tight. So this goes in the lock and the show side, and it's indexed. You can see this is a D-shaped pivot, which you need to check the orientation first beforehand, and you can see that here it's the D kind of that it's straight is on this side. So this guy has to go like this, so it's gonna be like that and like that, and then you just wiggle it a little bit so it just snaps in place, which is where is it? You can just bend the blade, it's easier, and then actually you can rotate the pivot. It should snap in place as soon as it finds the correct orientation, like so. So you're gonna feel it, and it has to be flush with the scale, and then you can proceed to mount the other scale with the screw for the back, like so. Very good. And then that's the pocket clip with the 2 screws. So that is one. Not too tight, remember, and that's the second screw, like so. Nicely in place. Let's double check and also check this one, which is pretty good. And then we can do a little bit of blue Loctite, switch the T8, put the washers in. Kind of like a spacer more than a washer, but yeah, it's an interesting configuration. Just a little bit of coating off the thread, like so. Actually, you can just do like just a little bit like that, and then this guy is in. Just remember, I forgot to lube the detent ball, which I'm gonna do right now. Like just a tiny drop, like so. Okay, done. Then we're gonna tighten the pivot first of all the way down, like this. All right, so that the blade is centered. So let me check if I can just squeeze it a little bit more. So let me see, this blade looks a little bit off center. Let's do this. Let's check for blade play. There's none. Okay, so lock stick is still there, blade is center, there's no blade play. We have a little bit more, still very light. There's a little bit more pressure, but still you can feel it. Yeah, you see, I mean, it's really light, so probably needs a little bit more bending. Okay, and we can do something for the lock stick with this. I'm just going to use a little bit of ox guard with this. You can use this just this tiny amount, right over here on the place where the lock bar just gets in touch with the tang of the blade. There's a fair amount of lock stick. So, I mean, yeah, definitely lock stick. Okay. Blade doesn't play. It's centered. Detent is light. Easily to fail, but the lock stick is still there. So, yeah. It's probably it's like just poor geometry on this one. See, it's like the angle of the tang of the blade is like that, but the angle of the lock bar is just like that. So that's why there's this lock stick over here, but also could be that it's a new knife and needs some break-in period, but still it shouldn't stick like that 100%. So yeah, just keep that in mind. So there you have it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to subscribe. And thanks for watching. Stay tuned.